Hey, Daily Dose, this is Pastor Larry here, and this week we're taking a look at what it means to lead me to the cross, the final week of Jesus' life. And on this Wednesday, what I want to do is I want to take a look at something called the Passover. In John chapter 13, we have the story of them gathering together for that final meal before the Lord goes out to Gethsemane to pray and then to be arrested and then go to the cross. And as that meal starts, everybody comes in, and there's no one to wash feet. Now, we got to understand why washing feet was so important there. I mean, the roadways were filled with animal waste, actually from windows, human waste poured down into troughs that were along the way. I mean, it was incredibly raunchy type of a deal to be the one who washed the feet. And so none of them were going to do it. In the famous story, Jesus stepped forward and does it. And then he says, we're to do that to one another. He's not talking about washing feet. He's talking about a spirit of serving. And I want to use this passage to help us understand the heart of the Lord and what it was that enabled him to serve in that way. And the only thing that will enable us to put the needs and interests as more important than our own and to walk in true biblical humility. Because biblical humility, as I've told you so often, is not a low view of ourselves. That's kind of the English language definition of humility. No, biblical humility is an accurate view of ourselves that simply treats others as if they're the guest of honor. As if somehow at this point in this interaction, they are better than us. Not that they are better than us, but treating them as if they were. So here's what we read. It was just before the Passover festival, and Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. And having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. And the evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, son of Iscariot, Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. And catch this. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power, that he had come from God and was returning to God. So, because he knew the Father had put things all under his power, he knew where he was come from, he knew where he was going. Because of that, now let's just stop right there. Do you think you got a pretty low view of yourself when God has given you all power? You know you're God in the flesh, and you know you're going back to heaven? That ain't no low view of yourself. But what did he do? Well, knowing that in that security, he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, wrapped a towel around his waist, and after that he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. Wow. You see, the only way we're going to be able to serve as the Lord has sent us out in the world as his representatives, as his ambassadors, as the people they can look at and say, oh, that's what a Christian is, that's who Jesus is, that's who God is. The only way we can serve like Jesus is if we find our security in Jesus. The Lord's not telling us to have a low view of ourselves. The Lord's telling us to understand who we are. Oh, we're sinners, saved by grace. But because of that, we've been turned into spiritual royalty. We're a royal priesthood, the Bible says. And the more I truly grasp who I am in Jesus, the more easy it becomes to serve those who I look at and go, well, you don't deserve to be served. Well, neither do these clowns. You're not better than me. Well, neither were these clowns. But he served them. I love how Philippians puts this. Do nothing out of selfishness or empty conceit, but with humility of mind, consider the needs and interests of others as more important than your own. Treat them like a guest of honor. In fact, it says, we ought to have the same attitude in us that was in Jesus Christ. That's what I want you to think about today. How can I enjoy and grab hold of my destiny, my security, and my identity in Jesus in such a way I can serve others? Because that's what he's called us to do.